What's going on, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of Jazz Nation Daily. My name is Daniel. I am the admin of all those Jazz Nation pages that you're following online through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the YouTube, the Patreon, the podcast, the Instagram. Did I say that already? Maybe a MySpace page, who knows? But the links for all these pages can be found in one simple spot. Just go to linktree.com/Jazz Nation News. Sorry, I made a little adjustment for those watching. Just trying to fix the camera. I noticed on yesterday's I kind of had a glare thing going on, so I'm trying to avoid that. I'm not sure if it has to do with the lighting I'm using there, but hopefully that one's better. How's everyone doing today? It's the Wednesday edition of this. Shout out to those that are already in and commenting. To see you there, Ken, Chance, Tevin. Hopefully I'm saying your name there right. Thanks so much for checking in. If you ever want to get in and chat with me during these live streams, we do this as a live stream. Never know what part of the day I'm going to do these, but at least try and do this once a day and catch everyone up on the jazz news for since the last time we've talked. But yeah, you can check out and comment when it's streaming on the YouTube page, Twitter, or on our Facebook page. Again, if you just search for Jazz Nation, typically we're like the first one that comes up. There's a lot of other Jazz Nation pages. I always got to tell folks, if you ever come, I had a friend recently, he's like, "Oh, I follow your page." I'm like, "You do?" He said, "Yeah, check it out." I was actually just looking at it and he showed me, and it was one of those completely other ones. If you're following a Jazz Nation page, it is still the old city colors of the red rock, the orange, the black kind of colors. That's not our page. Those guys are run by some corporation that are nowhere near Utah. They run a million different nation pages, Pacer pages, Nuggets Nation. So how much are they really giving you good info? Not a whole lot. Not so good as like I do. I was going to pat myself on the back there. Oh, yeah. Anyways, the links for all the pages, again, linktree.com/Jazz Nation News. But again, if you're just like on the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, if you just search Jazz Nation, you're probably going to find us. Look for our little, let's see if I point this side behind me here. See that logo up here? This one? Kind of the mountain logo color is there. If you look for that logo on there, that's our page there. All right. What an introduction that was there. Again, if you're watching this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, join in the chat. Let me know how things are going there. I see Chance is telling me that MySpace isn't a thing anymore. Well, listen, you know what? I think it's actually still a website, so it's still around technically. I have no idea if Justin Timberlake actually was one of the last owners of that thing. I'm pretty sure. Is he still on that? Where's Tom at? Does anyone remember Tom from MySpace? Is he still alive? How's he doing these days? Who the hell knows? Most of you watching this right now have no idea what I'm talking about. This shows my age, I guess. Anyways, let's check in on the news since the last we chatted yesterday, shall we? Obviously, the big news since yesterday is that Talen Horton-Tucker, THT, if you will, has officially decided to opt in and stay with the Jazz. He will opt into his $11 million contract for next season. Now, so that means the easiest way of saying that is he will not be an unrestricted free agent. So he's still with the Jazz technically. Now, but I guess officially that doesn't technically mean he's going to play for the Jazz next season, right? Like, they could always still move him. It's only a 1-year contract, pretty good deal. So, but officially, technically, yes, he is staying with the Jazz. The other thing, obviously, we haven't heard about the Jordan Clarkson situation yet. He still has until tomorrow to decide if he's going to opt in or opt out. The other thing, I haven't talked much about because I just feel like it's kind of crazy to me that we actually haven't heard yet, is that the Jazz have to make a decision on Kelly Olynyk if they're going to keep him or not. I think it's pretty. I mean, at the end of last season, I believe it was either Justin Zanuck or Danny Ainge basically said, yes, we're keeping him. They loved having him on the team, and at the amount, the deal they can get him at, it would be stupid not to him. The way I look at it, conspiracy Daniel here again, I wonder, heads always turning on these kind of things. The more this goes on and the more they haven't announced it just makes me wonder how much they're trying to move him possibly. Is he part of a deal? Who knows? Again, there's I guess that's the fun part of the Jazz right now is that like my brain. I don't know about you guys. My brain is constantly going like, "Holy cow!" Like for a while there, like before Talen Horton-Tucker opted in, I was like, "Man, I don't know what's going on with him." My brain was just going and going, wondering with ideas. And now, with Jordan Clarkson. And if you follow my pages, thank you. If you're not, I don't know why you're even watching this then. But today I posted a tweet and it got a lot of traction there, and some people made fun of me for it. But let me pull it up there, and I'll just tell you exactly what it says. So I tweeted this earlier today. I said, so I've come to the conclusion that Jordan Clarkson is not coming back to Utah, but in all capitals. So I'll make sure that you know where I'm at here. But I think he wants to help Utah on the way out. So they're trying. So let's wait. Sorry, on his way out. So they are trying to work out a sign and trade deal. And then I put in little things there saying not reporting this. This is just my own opinion, so people don't say that I'm reporting anything. But it might be hard for Jazz to land a sign and trade deal. Do you think there's And then I just ask do you think there could be a sign and trade and some ideas? And the reason why I said that is and I was talking with the co-host of my JazzNation podcast, Mr. Will Wonder, and I was speaking with him this morning through the text, and I've just been wondering, like, the longer this has gone on, as far as Clarkson not exactly saying what he's going to do, my mind's starting to wonder. So last night when the news came out about Talen Horton-Tucker, the first thing I thought of when I told my wife, I was like, oh, Talen Horton-Tucker, and I was like, well, that means your dude Jordan Clarkson's gone. I mean, to me, and I think I even said this yesterday, I just can't see where both of them come back. To me, I just don't see it happening. Could be wrong, but that's just my opinion, my 2 cents. Take it for what it is. And so I told her, he's gone, he's going to leave, blah, blah, blah. And then as we went to a movie, and as we're driving home, my brain's just thinking out to itself. And I'm like, it's kind of crazy, though, that we still haven't heard what Clarkson is going to do. And that's actually part of the reason why I wanted to do the JazzNation Daily today at a later time, because I was like, well, maybe he'll announce it today. And I just still nothing as of right now. I've got the Twitter up to see if there's any announcements. Nothing's come up. And the Jazz still haven't said anything about Kelly Olynyk either, and they have till tomorrow on that decision too. So I don't know, any of you out there that are in the live stream right now that can leave me a comment, let me know what you think too. I mean, my brain's just starting to wonder, like, hell, the longer this goes on, are they trying to work out a deal with him? I think I think most of us have come to the conclusion or thought mostly that Clarkson was going to opt out and definitely test the free agent market. A lot of times when it comes to these player options in or going out, their agents already, talked with other teams and knows if they're interested or not and kind of what the range is. And so it's got me wondering, like, maybe there's not much of a free agent market for Clarkson. And, I thought of that in 2 different ways. I'm wondering that just as far as like maybe that's why they haven't made a decision yet, because his agent's still trying to, talk to other teams and see what could possibly be available for him. But then is it possible that they're also, I was trying to come up with ideas today after I said that tweet about a possible sign trade, because I'm sitting there looking at teams and I'm going, and like I said, I said this to Will Wonder, my co-host on the on the JazzNation podcast. I'm like, wow, there's not a lot of teams that I can imagine Clarkson on. Like, there was that rumor earlier this week, whatever. He's mentioned some teams about Clarkson, and the big one that people were kind of ticking out of it was the Houston Rockets. And I sit back and think, I was like, I really don't imagine him going to the Rockets. And then I'm just kind of going through team by team. The Suns, no. The Nuggets, no. No. And it's just like, it came down to like certain teams that I could imagine maybe doing like a sign and trade type of idea. I kind of came up with one and threw it out there on Twitter, and it got really poo-pooed on, if you will. Just the idea I came up was as a sign and trade kind of deal where the Jazz would send Clarkson to the Celtics, and the Celtics would send Grant Williams and, I'm spacing the name, the guard. See, look, I've already got a new thing here telling me no. So, sorry. The Jazz would get Grant Williams and Peyton Pritchard from the Celtics. Again, that would send a sign and trade kind of deal. Celtics get Jordan Clarkson. And I just thought of that just because, I obviously we know the Jazz Celtics connection there, But also, Boston's also trying to make some moves this offseason. Just they really want to, get to that championship level. They want to win a title. They were so close there. Now they just need something else. And people are telling me now, what about Brogdon? It's just like, well, they already tried to trade him recently, and the health thing was kind of an issue. I don't know. But, Brogdon, if he's healthy, that would be cool because then that helps the Jazz with their point guardish issues that we have. But I don't know. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, if you stop and think, the market for Clarkson's kind of slim. Like, then I was thinking, like, okay, Orlando? I know David Locke in his recent podcast on Locked On Jazz stuff was mentioning not so much about a Clarkson trade, but just kind of in general. I can't remember exactly what it was about how Orlando has so many guards, especially point guards, smaller guards, that the Jazz could maybe talk with them and see if they might be interested in doing a trade to help the Jazz their guard situation. And then I was like, actually Will Wonder, the assistant to the host on the JazzNation podcast. I'm sure you all know that. You listen to the JazzNation podcast all the time. He's an Orlando Magic fan, so I mentioned it to him. He's like, I could see Clarkson possibly coming in and, helping the team out with more of a quote unquote vet role. He's kind of older. He would help with the locker room there and stuff like that. So I asked him on the players, and he said, well, he actually suggested Gary Harris, and he says Gary Harris would be, he's a good 3-point shooter. He's not really a point guard. He's definitely more of a shooting guard. There is some injury issues there, but the thing with Gary Harris is that he's only on a 1-year deal too. So that could help. I'm sorry, maybe the microphone there. That could help because then he's only 1-year deal. So if he doesn't work with the Jazz, it could probably maybe be easy to flip him at the trade deadline. So we were talking about the players, and then I looked at Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony is kind of more of a point guard. He's only on he only had a 1-year deal left too. So I put that out there on the Twitter too. Didn't seem to get as much poo on it, but I think more from what I heard from more Jazz fans, of course, were wanting Jalen Suggs. The problem with that is I just don't think Orlando's ready to give up on Jalen Suggs. So again, this is what I'm saying. Like, as I sit here and think about this more and more, the fact that we haven't heard what Jordan Clarkson's decision is might be in the Jazz's favor if you really, really think about it. Like, the more it goes on, I just wonder if his agent is like telling him like, shit, dude, where's, I can get you to Houston. And they're going to give you some money, but it's Houston, man. I don't know how good that team's going to be. Or I can get you a new contract with Utah, and, is it going to be more money? Probably not, but you love Utah. Your family loves Utah. You already have the fans connection there. It's Utah, you know what it is there. So, holy cow, it's kind of crazy to think about. And I've just, I'm going to feel, after I put that tweet out there thinking he's going to be gone. And then as the day went on and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm just like, maybe I'm going to look so stupid when he stays in Utah. And you know what? It's going to be one of those things where I'm totally fine looking stupid. If I am wrong on that and they can keep Clarkson, make me look stupid as possible. Bravo. I look dumb as hell. Totally fine with that. But we'll see. The one thing I would hate for it to happen is if somehow they overpay and having to keep him, which I definitely don't think happens. But, I've said it a million times. This is going to be Clarkson's quote unquote last big contract, probably of his career in the NBA. A little older. His agent's going to want some years on there. I don't know if the Jazz are going to agree on that because they don't want to, they don't want to have Clarkson. It's not that they don't want to have Clarkson for a while, but you don't want to have him because within like the next 2-3 years, the Jazz have got to start then paying, they got to start paying the Kesslers. They got to start paying the Ochais on new contracts and things like that. So they got to look out for that situation. So I don't know. Anyone else that's watching right now, do you guys think, am I going just sounding crazy right now? Is that how you guys are thinking too? That the longer this goes on, it almost feels like it's in the Jazz favor? Like, I don't know. Let's see, you got a comment here. Let's put this up real quick. Christopher Jenkins on YouTube says more of a trade market for KO than JC. Oh, definitely. I mean, as far as a trade market, yeah, for sure. Because Olynyk is, first off, great contract. Easy, even if the new team gets him and he doesn't work there, that's so easy for them to flip him and move him somewhere else too. But as we know, just in our situation, he's a pro. He comes into his. I mean, let's be honest. He's been around. He's moved around quite a bit, and he knows just come in and be a professional. Since he's gotten to Utah, he's been a good with the medias and his interviews. Anyone that I've heard as far as fans meeting him, he's a nice guy, cool fans, and he just he's played good when he's been out there. He's played good, so I could definitely agree with that, and that kind of goes along with what I'm kind of saying is like the market for Clarkson just seems, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of difficult. So, sorry, just doing a quick check of the Twitter, making sure nothing else has changed right now. So the other big news, not big news, but news since last we talked, is the Jazz today officially announced the Summer League roster. And we went over the Summer League roster yesterday. I kind of gave you my predictions or who I think was going to be on the roster. And to pat myself on the back, I was right. I was only missing one player here that's actually on the roster. It is Yahin. Oh man, I should just spell this out. Last name Massalski. 6'9" forward from San Francisco, but then it also says from Belarus. Looks like an undrafted rookie. So there's that. So Summer League starts this coming Monday here in Salt Lake City. The coaches for Summer League, this is kind of interesting too. On the coaches, it's Evan Brads, who's been an assistant coach last season for the Jazz. And then some of these other names I'm not 100% familiar with. Sean Sheldon, Chris Jones, Mike Williams. I feel like I want to find out more. Here was a funny part. When they first put out this press release about this, they actually had, so this is the new Stars head coach, Steve Wojcicki. I hope I'm saying the last name. I know it just goes by Steve Wojo. But it actually said Stove, which I thought was kind of funny. But then they also have some guest coaches listed, and one of them that's on there is actually Lauri Markkanen's Finland national team coach. So he's going to be helping the Jazz out in Summer League. So I thought that's pretty cool. But yeah, Summer League roster's out. When I look at the Summer League roster, obviously we know Ochai. We talked about this yesterday. Hope he does good. It's going to be awesome to see where his game goes up. When I look at the Summer League roster, I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday too. So Johnny Juzang is on the roster for Summer League. Happy to see that. I feel like this is going to be a very important Summer League for him because, like, if you look at the Jazz roster now, especially after the draft, the Jazz added 2 guard, Keontae and then Bryce Sensabaugh, who are guard, maybe small forwardish if they want to. But that's kind of what Johnny Juzang was in that same kind of. So we're kind of heavy in that area now. It feels like, to me, this is just me, my feeling is that Johnny Juzang does not have a good Summer League. I could easily see the Jazz cutting him and he's gone. So this is going to be a really important Summer League for Johnny Juzang. I liked what I saw out of him last season when he got some time with the Jazz. Obviously, he spent most of the time with the Stars. He was a two-way player. We already know that the Jazz have signed a new two-way player in Joey Hauser. And they can only have two-way players on the team. So there was 2 last season. It was Johnny Juzang and Micah Potter. Both are on Summer League roster this year. So both of them, I feel like Micah Potter is kind of safer than Juzang just because he's in that position where he's kind of a big guy. And I feel like they like him. I don't know. I feel like they like him. So Juzang just to me feels like that guy that really needs to show off in Summer League to keep his position. So yeah, I mean, that's really all the updates since the last time we talked there. Let's see. We've got a new comment on here. Let's pull this up and talk it over. Michael left a comment on the Facebook. Thanks so much for coming in on the live stream and checking it out, leaving a comment here. It says, I think there are so many offers, JC, that the Jazz are trying to figure out which one to take. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's why. It's possible. I guess that's possible. I just don't know. But like, if there's offers though, the thing is like, if you're thinking like a sign and trade as far as offers, you got to remember that the player themselves also has to agree with it because they're agreeing to sign and then get traded to that team. In a Clarkson situation, he could always just opt out and be an unrestricted free agent and do his own thing, and Jazz get nothing. That's why I was saying I could see him trying to work something out as far as a sign and trade to give Jazz something out of it instead of just losing it and he's just gone kind of a thing. But who knows? It's crazy. I mean, this next 24 hours or so feels like it's gonna be interesting to see. It's really gonna be as simple as this. Clarkson's in, stays in, and the team keeps their locker. I mean, here's the thing that we got to keep in mind that's important about Clarkson for the Jazz team that we have now. We know Rudy Gay is gone, so Rudy Gay, that vet leadership, is now gone for the Jazz. I think it was Ben Anderson from KSL Sports who tweeted it yesterday, saying something to the line of, let me just pull it up exactly because I want to make sure I get the tweet and the quote here right 100%. Don't want to get it wrong. Where are you at? This is what Ben Anderson tweeted yesterday. If Jordan Clarkson leaves in free agency, Walker Kessler will be the longest tenured. Why was that such a hard word to say? Player on the Utah Jazz roster. How crazy is that to think? That's crazy, right? Like, that's crazy. That just tells you how young and the roster is. You think Walker Kessler's ready to take over the team? Probably not. So that's kind of another thing that's important that I'm sure that I definitely know the Jazz coaching staff and GM and all them are positive to know the importance of having JC around for that locker room leadership and keep, that vet role now that Rudy Gay is going to be gone. So I don't know. That's got to be so important on that. And then, Kelly Olynyk, that's another reason I think they probably want to keep him around. Obviously, we know about already went over it. He's got a good contract and such, blah, blah, blah. But also he helps with that vet leadership that's going to be needed. Like when you have a guys coming in like a John Collins, he's going to, and Taylor Hendricks and things like that, and Walker Kessler's still young. These guys are going to need someone to look up to and chat with and need help with things. Kelly Olynyk could easily be that guy for him. So, speaking of Kelly Olynyk, looks we have a new comment here. Richard on the YouTube page says, "Is the KO decision coming today? I either today or tomorrow. It has to be made before the 29th. Just like the decision from Clarkson. Sorry, God, I get stuttered on there sometimes. That's why I'm saying these next 24 hours could be very, very interesting. It could either be interesting in the fact because Clarkson opts in and stays with the Jazz, which would blow my mind if that happens, or the more, I think, realistic thing that would still blow my mind is he opts out and then gets a new contract with the Jazz. Still crazy to think that way because I just always thought he was gone. Let's be honest. I have. The other thing that's possible too is that the Jazz move Kelly Olynyk. Like we said, his contract is so favorable. It would be so easy to move him. So both those situations, the fact that we're here now on the eve of the deadline and still don't know on those, that's crazy to me. So I don't know. What do you guys think out there watching right now? As we're winding things up here, if you're watching right now on the live stream and want to get in on some last comments, leave me a comment on Twitter, Facebook, or on the YouTube page. What are your guys' thoughts? Real quick, do you think Jazz are keeping Kelly Olynyk? Are the Jazz keeping Jordan Clarkson? Is Clarkson opting out and going somewhere else? Is Clarkson opting out, but then they do a sign and trade and then he goes somewhere else? Hurry and give me your thoughts here, people, while we're winding it down. See if anyone gets in here before I gotta say goodbye. Checking the Twitter real quick to see if any updates. Nothing new as of right now. All right, let's see. We got something here. Looks like from Richard again. I think they package KO in a deal of some kind, value in the league. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I agree. He definitely does have value, not just his contract, but just him as a player and how just professionally is in the league. He totally could be moved. I mentioned Grant Williams earlier. I feel like I listen to a lot of different like basketball chatter podcasts, and I just feel like in all those, one name that seems like that's always kind of been buzzed around as far as the Utah Jazz has been Grant Williams. And I think that just has a lot to do with Danny Ainge because if I recall right, Danny Ainge is the one that drafted him in Boston. If anyone's on there and wants to correct me if I'm wrong on that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So, and Kelly Olynyk played in Boston before, so that would just make sense to maybe just make that deal. And I don't know, maybe somehow Clarkson's involved in that too, but would not surprise me there if something like that happens. So we shall see. I'm telling you, the next time we talk here tomorrow on this Jazz Nation Daily could be a whole different vibe of things. It could be like, oh my gosh, Clarkson's staying. Oh, I'm not that surprised about the Talen Horton-Tucker thing. You know, I was kind of like I had mentioned on previous versions of this. I was when they first started talking about these things and stuff. It was definitely leaning way more toward him just opting in, no question about it. Then as time went on, it was like, well, maybe they're going to test. It's probably the same thing that they're doing with the Clarkson camp right now. Is that Talen Horton-Tucker's agent tested the waters.